Dear soon-to-be world-famous best-selling author Jesse, I really hope you see this email on one of the few days you decide to show up to work. That's not nice. If you could witness firsthand any event in history, what would it be? The first things that come to mind are D-Day and the Battle of Gettysburg. But ultimately, I think I would have to say a battle at the Colosseum. What would the Oracle choose and why? His name is Mike. Okay, I actually have one of these, but I don't like my answer. And my answer is always the same. Like you say D-Day, all right? And you say the Battle of Gettysburg or a battle in the Colosseum. My answer to this when I think about this is I would love to see a siege, an ancient siege towers at the walls, gates being battered down, arrows, the works. That it fascinates me. It fascinates me endlessly, in part because I can't see it. You know, D-Day, I have pictures, I have video. Now, it doesn't mean I was there. I'm not saying that, but I have some idea of it. Even Gettysburg, I know we don't have video of it, but some idea of what it looked like. Do you know that we don't even know how the shield and spear warfare actually worked? Did they run at each other? Did they walk up to each other? Did they slam into each other and stay there just touching? Did they stay 5 feet away? Did they slam into each other and then back away? Like, these are basic things that they didn't write down back in the day that we don't know. But here's the reason I hate my answer. And actually, I hate all your answers too. Not that they're bad answers. But here's the reason. When we think about these historical things, and I'm the same way, like I brought up the siege of a city. Why do I want to see it? Well, I want to see the battle, and I want to see the siege towers, and I want to see the pitch, and I want to see everything else. But I think we're underselling how horrible it would be to watch. I think most of these things we say we want to see, I think we would regret it almost immediately, and we would look away, and we cover up our eyes and ears. Violence is a terrible thing, man. It just, watching people die, hearing people die, it's a really, really ugly thing. And we get conditioned with movies and TV and even books, even accurate, factual books. We get conditioned to think of it more like, and I'm very guilty of this, to think of it more like a movie or a good story. But that's somebody's brother who's getting a spear shoved into his eyeball. You know, that's somebody's wife who's going to have some barbarian kick down her door and be horrible to her once the gates are breached and they come flood the city. That's somebody's child who's going to be put in chains and marched off to slavery for the rest of their life. When you talk about D-Day or Battle of Gettysburg is a great example. I think I'd want to see it, but then when you think about guys getting shot, stabbed, and look, they call for their mothers. You know that, right? How many times would you have to hear that before you had instant regret that you chose a battle or warfare of some kind? I think you would regret it almost immediately. I think the more wonderful parts of the history of the world are probably ones that I should answer that question to. But again, I'm the same way as you. I want to see any siege. You could call it the Battle of Troy. I don't care what you call it. Pick a Roman, any one of the various Roman sieges out there. Look, you know we're going to Israel in July. One of the coolest things I've ever read about in my life is the siege of Masada. And we're going to Masada, as the Jesse Kelly Show family is going to Masada in July. Remember, you can look it up right now. It's still right there. It's a fortress that's up on top of this plateau. And the Romans couldn't get up there to get these the zealots out. They were Jewish zealots. I won't go all the details of it, but they wanted them out. And the Romans couldn't get up there. There was only one road up. So the Romans built a ramp that didn't exist before, and still there. We're gonna see it. They built a ramp so they could haul their siege equipment up a ramp and go in. Man, I want to see that. But do I want to see that? They all had to draw straws because it's against Judaism to commit suicide. They all had to draw straws to kill each other in that fort before the Romans got there. That's sad. Look, it's a cool story. You're probably geeking out on it the same way I'm geeking out on it, telling you the story. Do I actually want to see it and hear it, smell it? Probably not. Probably not. Was that too dark, Chris? It's just something. It's just. I think about it sometimes. We especially dudes. We think about war and battles. It's how God made us. But so when we go back, we think about going back in time, and it's always a battle or something. Like even the Colosseum. Man, I'm right there with you. I want to see it. You know what? I'd want to see animal fights. You know, there was a special kind of gladiator, a different kind. Some were to fight men. Some were to fight animals. They actually had the lowest life expectancy, the animal ones. And when I find out that gladiators used to go into the Colosseum with nothing but a spear and take on a rhinoceros in a fight to the death, I say to myself, I want to see that. But do I want to see him get killed by a rhinoceros? Or even, look, if he wins, I don't want to see a rhinoceros die. I like rhinoceroses. They're cool. But if you ask me in a vacuum without thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I want to go see a rhino fight. I don't really want to see a rhino get a spear shoved into its eye. I don't want to hear it. But I'm with you.